Hello everybody, my name is Day. Welcome back to my channel. I'm here today to do a bit of a wrap up. It is, as of recording, the 31st of March, and we got a new quarter to talk about. Today I'm going to wrap up March, let you know my plans for April, and then do like a little look back on quarter one, because I didn't do too shabby, I don't think. So I have my notes here for this video because I got kind of a lot to go over, but we're gonna start with writing. So writing wise, I did okay this month. I started off really strong, like probably the best couple weeks that I've had in the year were at the beginning of this month. However, Shay and I did 2 experiment collaborations this month, and I think because we did them back to back, I kind of burnt myself out a little bit. I had so much good momentum, and then over the last 2 weeks, my motivation has just been tick, lower and lower. I actually had 2 0 days this last week of March. On Monday and Tuesday I did 0 words. I'm glad that I did 0 because I came back and was back to my 1,000 a day, but I feel like we might have gone a little too hard in the beginning of the month, and I just didn't have steam left to continue. That said, I'm also at the midpoint of my current project, my fantasy novel, and somebody mentioned it in my stream the other day. They're like, oh well, maybe it's the saggy middle, and that is a possibility. Honestly, my outline is very detailed. It was like 22,000 words, so I know what I'm doing in this middle section, so I'm not sure if it's saggy middle and it's more maybe imposter syndrome mixed with burnout. I'm not 100% sure. But I'm moving through. Like I said, I know all the beats, the emotional beats, the action beats. I know where we're going next, so I just have to keep going. I've been letting myself have like lower days with the hope that I'm gonna re-energize myself and come back strong. So even with my 0 days and my having a tough time the last couple weeks, I still wrote 52,683 words this month, which is my highest word count month so far. So I did, like I said, really good with writing. I just think next time we plan a bunch of experiments, maybe split them up a little bit more. I feel like Shay will probably have the same sort of thing to say. It's just a lot to do back to back, a lot to film. Both the experiments had like full 8-hour days of writing and streaming, so it adds up. So next time we know to split them up a little bit more, but either way I still wrote 52,000 words, and I'm very happy with my word count. I'm just gonna keep plodding through this middle section. I'm actually not disliking anything that I've written. I just feel like it's slow going, and sometimes that's necessary. It's all right. I'm not overly concerned. We're just gonna keep trucking. Now, reading. I read 20 books this month, and I'm gonna be 100% honest, my reading this month was kind of meh. I was not a fan of most of the novels that I read this month. I just didn't love almost any of them. I actually had 2 DNFs this month. I'm not precious on DNFs. I will DNF a book if I don't like it. It doesn't really matter to me at what percentage that it gets DNF'd. It will be DNF'd if I don't like it. So I had 2 DNFs, and I actually had a 1-star. I'm not gonna say what it is because I'm sure if you've been around, you might know what it is, but I'm not gonna say it here. But if I could give this book 0 stars, I would have given it 0 stars. That is as much as I will say. So I had my first 1 star of the year this month. I had my first DNF and my second DNF in this month for the entire year. And even the other books that I read got all kind of mid-range, 3 to 3.5-ish stars. So novel-wise, I was kind of I did finish The Promised Neverland, the manga. I loved it. I gave it 5 stars, the whole thing 5 stars. It's great. I also finally really picked up on Solo Leveling, and it has me in a chokehold. I actually cheated on my 20 books. As of filming this right now, I am almost done volume 6 of Solo Leveling, so I counted it as my 20. It will be done today. I promise. It will be done. So it's got me in a chokehold. I'm actually sad because I don't really want it to end. The more I read these series, the more I'm tempted to just pick up One Piece because I know it's not going to end anytime soon. I could probably read for the rest of this year and not finish One Piece. It's like 11 or 1200 chapters. Solo Leveling is 200, and it's taken me like 2 months to finish. So I'm just tempted to pick up One Piece. It's ongoing. It's not going to leave me anytime soon. But anyways, Solo Leveling, I'm almost done volume 6. It's the rags to riches story of my dreams. Is so cool. I don't even really like video games, like the kind of video games that this is based off of, like dungeons and monsters and whatever. I don't play those kind of games, but I'm loving reading this book or this manhwa. It's so good. I love it. And I'll talk about it later, but I also found the Korean version, and I'm going to be using it as a study tool starting from the very beginning. So I'll talk about that after though. So yes, I read 20 books and it has been an overall month. But these books that you see here are next on my list. I'm not 100% sure what I want to be taking with me on vacation. I'm thinking Mistborn will come with me on vacation, and maybe it's not in this list, but ACOTAR, because my mom kind of wants to read it, so we were gonna do a little buddy read together. I've never read any Sarah J. Maas. Neither has she, so we were thinking maybe we'll read it together. I do have ACOTAR. Yes, I have ACOTAR on my shelf, so we might read that on vacation, but those are the books that are most likely to be read next over there. And The Mermaid from Jeju is one of the books that I read this month. I got a okay rating. For other stuff, I'm kind of been in craft limbo. I don't know if that's really a thing, but as you can see behind me, I have all of this yarn. I've got more up there, I've got more. These are finished / semi-finished projects up here. I've got yarn for days, and I cannot for the life of me decide what I actually want to work on. So I think I'm going to return to amigurumi and just make a bunch of small fun things, cute fun things, because I keep trying to make garments, and not only does it take forever, but like, unless it's a sweater, a crochet garment is like fairly heavy depending on the material that you're using. I don't know, I just want to make cute things. One of the ladies that I work with brought a capybara to work that she had crocheted, and I was like, wow, I love it. It was wearing a frog hat. It was the cutest thing I've ever seen. And I'm like, why am I not doing that? Because actually my first crochet project was amigurumi, and I don't know why I decided to move away from that, because I loved it. I don't love sewing things together. I find that it always ends up wonky, which in crochet's defense, is my fault because I'm too lazy to like actually put all the pins in and whatever. I just sew it together and hope for the best. But I think I'm gonna go back to that because I'm kind of in limbo. Same, like I have my watercolor that I want to be doing, but it's just so much effort to bring it all out and set it all out, which is laziness talking. Because I literally think about watercolor all the time. I'm like, man, like I could be practicing, but here I am not practicing. And same goes for my drawing practice. I have been doing it, but I've been doing it a lot less consistently than what I was originally doing when I first made the last wrap up where I mentioned it. I've been a lot less consistent, so I just need to get myself together. I just feel like listless with crafts. I'm not sure what exactly I want to be focusing on. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. I don't really have an answer. Just I want to be crafting. I'm just not sure what I want to be crafting. And I'm trying to figure that out. Okay. But the other thing that I kind of mentioned in my last wrap up, Korean. I was doing really bad with my practice, and I'm proud to say this month I was way better. I got out my textbooks. You can't see them. They're in a square that's like directly behind me. I had all my textbooks. I've been doing my own study sessions. It's funny how quickly you lose the basics. So like, I wouldn't say that my understanding of Korean is terrible. I feel like I watch and listen and consume enough Korean media to have a semi-decent understanding, but then I was reading through these beginner textbooks that I have already gone through. Like I was thinking, oh, I'm gonna pick them up and do review, and I'm like, no, there are actually words in here that I've forgotten, like basic words that I cannot remember. So I've been like actually studying the beginner books, being like, okay, yes, I can form this sentence, but I need to review the grammar, or I need to review the vocabulary words and like start trying to memorize the vocabulary words again and whatever. So I've been doing really good. Like I said, I found access to Solo Leveling, which is a Korean manhwa. It's not actually a Japanese manga, it's a Korean manhwa. And I found it. I actually started reading it and I was like, okay, I actually understand some of the stuff that is in here. However, I do also have the added bonus of having already read 140 chapters of the English version. So I'm going to use that as a study tool. I think that would be super fun actually to try, because I do have Korean reading for beginners. That's one of my textbooks, but obviously it's not gonna be as fun as reading Solo Leveling. So yeah, I'm gonna be using that as a study tool, and hopefully that'll encourage me to keep up with it. So I wanted to quickly, before I move on to my plans for April, I wanted to quickly just look back on the quarter and give like a quick wrap up of what I did. So I have not written today, so that's a caveat for my word count for this month. I haven't actually written yet today, so it'll probably be 1,000 or maybe 2,000 words higher than whatever ends up in this video. So my word count total for this quarter is also going to be off by a little bit, but you'll get the point. So for quarter one, I wrote 142,878 words. I'm on chapter 28 of my project. So 28 chapters, 142,878 words. Of the 3 months, I've missed 5 days of writing. So there was those 3 days in January where I was camping, so I marked those as vacation days, and then there was 2 days this week where I was not feeling it. So 5 days that I've missed, and I've made it to the midpoint of my project. Reading wise, I have read 64 books so far this month, or this quarter, and they have not all been winners, but they are pretty good so far. I don't know if I would say I have a favorite of the quarter. Novel wise, I think My favorite is Delicious Monsters by Lizelle Sambury. That's my favorite so far this year. But like manga wise, I would have to say, man, I think Solo Leveling is winning manga slash manhwa wise, but I'm still in my Jujutsu Kaisen era. I'm very sad that I have to wait for chapters to come out. It's so frustrating. It's like waiting for a TV show to come out weekly, except it's worse because it's like 19 pages. Like it takes me 10 minutes to go through the chapter and then I have to wait again. It's like you give me nothing, but here I am begging for crumbs. So yeah, I think it's Solo Leveling currently, but I don't know, I devoured Jujutsu Kaisen when I was trying to catch up, so unsure currently. That's what I got so far. And I will say that I do think I've done a pretty good job with my goals for this month slash how I've changed them over the quarter. I wanted consistency, and I can say in reading and in writing and in most of my other stuff, I have been able to maintain consistency. I'm not really worried so much about like writing every day and reading every day. I do try, but as long as I'm maintaining a consistent habit, I'm happy, and I have been doing that. So overall, I'm very happy with my first quarter. After coming out of a writing slump, I've written a crap ton in the first 3 months of the year. I've read 64 books. That blows my mind, but I'm happy. I'm excited to go into the second quarter and see what else I can get done. Which brings me to April. So I have a couple things going on for reading in April. Shay and I are trying out another, I don't think it's exactly a reading experiment. It's more like reading prep for something that you will learn about down the line. But we're going to be reading a bunch of short stories by Stephen King. I have the list. We're going to read The Secret Window, The Langoliers, which I have already read, 1408, Children of the Corn, Cat's Eye, Apt Pupil, Stand By Me, The Shawshank Redemption, Creep Show, and The Mist. We also may have another video incoming that I will not tell you about, but we've got some fun stuff coming. That is all I will say about that. I'm also, like I said, if you look at the books here, minus Mistborn, these are all historical fantasy as according to Goodreads. So I am trying my hand at historical fantasy with the hope that either I like them or I get them all read and off my TBR forever all at once. So I have read The Mermaid from Jeju. I can't remember if I gave it a 3 or a 3.5. It was just fine. Like, it was okay. I just don't think it was for me. So that's why I didn't rate it negatively. It's a loving 3. And then I am reading currently The Warm Hands of Ghosts, which is this bottom one that you probably can't actually tell what it is, by Catherine Arden. I'm enjoying it so far. I've literally only read 1 chapter. It's on my 24 anticipated releases for 24, and I'm excited to get through it. I actually had wanted it to be a March book, but it didn't happen. That's how it goes. It's fine. So I've got that incoming, and then I will, like I said, potentially be taking some books on vacation. I may or may not vlog that. Just depends on how self-conscious I feel, if I'm being honest. I would also really like to finish Solo Leveling. I'm sure I'll be done within the first week, if not sooner, because I need to know how it ends. They literally just announced season 2 yesterday or the day before yesterday, something like that. We knew the announcement was coming, but like they've officially announced season 2. Man, waiting for this to be animated is gonna be painful, but I'm excited because the show is amazing. I started the show first, just like Jujutsu Kaisen. Started the show, caught up, and now I needed to read something else to supplement it. So yeah, I'm impatient. I'm impatient is all I have to say. I have kind of a goal for myself that is, I don't know what I would call it. It's not silly. It's just, I've noticed that I don't really read physically despite having all these pretty books. And I don't really think there's anything wrong with that because I'm reading ebooks and listening to audiobooks. I'm consuming the words still, but I would really like to read more books physically. And part of the reason I don't read them physically is because my pace is incredibly slow and I'm not 100% sure why. When I was a kid, I could consume like a 500-page book in a day. Now, if I can read 50 pages in a day, it's a really good day. It's not to say anything against people who read slow because I'm right there with you, but I would like to read faster. And I feel like the only way to do that is to read physically. So I'm not really setting myself like a goal of X amount of books read physically. I just want to read more physically. And with the hope that eventually my pace will slightly increase. So that was one thing I just wanted to talk about. Hopefully we'll be reading physically a little bit more. For my book, I would like to reach about 75%. I think I made it Dark Night of the Soul. It was my goal of reaching by the end of April. That's my goal. I'm gonna try really hard, but I am, like I said, going on vacation, so I'm kind of getting rid of like a good chunk of time. I still hopefully will be writing, but I know I will not be writing as much as, say, this month where I reached over 50,000 words. I know that's not gonna happen next month. So I'm hoping to reach the 75% mark because that would kind of line up with my pacing, but we shall see. I'm gonna try. If not, we'll aim for May. That's okay. I will not be angry. I giving myself grace, but it would be very nice to reach the 75% mark because in May then hopefully I'll be done and I can share some of it with friends, but we'll see. It's a big book, so I'm not rushing myself. I would rather do it a little bit slower and give it the time it needs to be semi-decent than rush and write a draft that I need to throw in the garbage and start from scratch. And then for Korean, like I said, I'm gonna be reading Solo Leveling. I think it'll take me several weeks to get through that first chapter. So that's kind of my goal, is to go through that over April and then continue to study like 2 or 3 times a week and go from there. I have high hopes for the outcome. But yes, thank you for sitting through this rambly wrap up. Please let me know how you did with your goals in Q1 and let me know what some of your goals are for Q2. I will be back with several videos trying to work on my consistency. I'm streaming, I'm filming, I'm doing my best. And I appreciate everybody who's been tuning in and leaving comments. I super appreciate it, and I love talking to all of you, so thank you. Please like and subscribe and turn on the notification bell, and I will see you somewhere on the internet. Bye.